Man, that was just disgraceful.
All right, everybody. Welcome on in NorCal Sports Network. Giants, rough loss tonight. Take it on the chin after a 4-1 lead. And you think Logan Webb on the mound against Walker Buehler. You think, man, this is the start of a good homestand and a new vibe around NorCal and around San Francisco. And what happens? Logan Webb just gets roughed up, and we're going to talk about it right now. Turn the music off. There we go. Dallas, very disappointing loss tonight, coming on the heels of a nice victory last night, and you get the momentum going tonight.
Started so well.
With another Casey Schmitt blast, this time a 2-run homer as Lee was on base to start the bottom half of the first, and then Schmitt rides one out of here right down the left field line, and you're thinking, and then they tack on a couple more, and you could see the energy, and you see everything, and then your former ace, and I use the word former intentionally because Landon Roop is now the club's ace, even though he's not in really ace category yet. It's too early in his career. We haven't seen enough, but we've seen enough of Logan Webb to know that he doesn't come through in a lot of games when they need him to. Your thoughts?
You're absolutely right. He hasn't had it this year, man. We started off saying slow start, a couple of clunkers here and there, and he'll get it together, and it hasn't happened. I mean, he'll pitch a good game, but he's had bad innings, pretty much every start where he gives up a massively crooked number, and tonight was no different. 6 runs, 6 earned, 5 in that fourth inning. Boy, that was just rough. And it also, it started off where, a couple of dink and dunk hits here, they hits it off the end of the bat and flips it into the outfield. And it's like, okay, bad luck. But then boom, 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 big hits, and he couldn't stop the bleeding. So it was, that was rough. And, unfortunately for this team, they can, they're not going to win any game where they give up 5 or more runs. So it wasn't gonna happen. And the bullpen didn't do the Giants any favors either. They kept giving up a run every inning, and the Padres were relentless. They just kept adding on, tacking on. 5 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 2 in the eighth, and put it out of reach because the Giants, they have trouble scoring 1 run, let alone 1 run an inning. So they weren't going to catch up. And just bad pitching, really. They put 5 on the board. That should be enough for this team. And it wasn't tonight. You're muted, Dan.
Yeah, it is the first time, Dallas, that they've scored 5 runs in a game this year and lost, I believe. They lost to the Phillies 6-5, right? In extras the other night.
Now. 5 or more runs.
I think they lost to the Phillies 6-5 on that last trip in one of those, that first game of the doubleheader.
Giants are 9-2.
Yeah, didn't they lose 6-5 to the Phillies?
That sounds familiar.
Oh, I thought you were looking at it.
Someone might have it. Individual games. I can try and find it here.
Some Heroku says, yep, 6-5. Okay. So they've lost 6-5. They lost 10-5. They've scored 5 runs. What? A couple times? 3 or 4 times this year plus?
5?
5?
They've scored 11 times. They've
And
scored 5 or more runs 11 times, and they're 9-2 in those situations.
All right. I'm gonna give you guys my my rant. I'm not angry. Some of you guys say I'm crying and stuff and whatever. I know you're probably just joking. Believe me, I don't cry when the Giants lose. I don't. I've come to realize, watching baseball for 56 years, this team does not have it. And I think, will they win 75 games? Probably right around there. Maybe they push 80. But here's my take on everything. I've been telling everybody for 2 years now, trade Logan Webb. And people have said, I'm nuts. I'm crazy. What are you thinking? He's your ace. You don't know what you're talking about. Who's going to pitch? How's Logan Webb doing for the Giants as far as I'm talking about helping them be a good team? He hasn't done anything to make them a playoff team yet. Okay? So why do I want to trade Logan Webb? Because I dislike Logan Webb? No. Because Logan Webb has value, but it's starting to diminish this year. And it comes down a little bit with every loss that he doesn't pitch well. So, and every year you wait, he has less available service to the new team under the current contract. So, here's the thing with Logan Webb. If you would have traded him last year, you would have got a lot more for him. You still can get a top prospect for Logan Webb. There's nothing wrong with him mechanically or physically, I should say. We saw him pitch a great game in Philly. But the problem is the Giants aren't winning, people. News flash. They're not winning in 26 or 27 or probably 28. The Giants' window is a few years down the road if they do this right. We see what they got for just Camilo Duvall, who's pretty much a kind of a nothing burger when it comes to a reliable closer. And they got Jesus Rodriguez for him and Parks Harbor, who's the Giants are high on. We saw the last 2 nights that Rodriguez can hit, and we know he can hit because he's hit at every level over 300. Every level. So Rodriguez can hit. So you got that for Camilo Duvall. For Tyler Rogers, who's even less of a pitcher in my mind because he was a free agent. So for 2-month rental, you got Blade Tidwell, Drew Gilbert, and Jose Buto, who's, whatever. He's a throw-in. But Gilbert has potential. Tidwell has potential. Imagine what you could get for a Logan Webb. And then you trade him and get those prospects and these guys, and you put them together with the rest of the group that's ready to play. Then you go out and you trade a Matt Chapman. I don't care if you got to pay the whole salary. Just move off of Chapman, get rid of as many of these big contracts that are vets, and let Tony cook with a younger group that will listen to him and be enthusiastic to play for him. Look, I'm not saying that these vets aren't enthusiastic. We've seen them hustle. We saw Rise hustle his butt off last night. We saw Devers hustle over the weekend, get a double. But there's something about having a young team and just having vets that are just taking up space that are not stars. Like if you have a star, it's kind of nice to watch. But I'd much rather watch Casey Schmitt, Jesus Rodriguez, Bryce Eldridge, Ramos, Gilbert, Susak, even Lee at this point. He's still young. I'd much rather have these guys watch them than watch Chapman and Devers and Adames. Okay. Let's get this thing going the right way. Now, we're not trading anybody in May. Okay. So I'm not asking and suggesting when I say it's time to trade Webb. What I mean by it's time to trade Webb, I'm talking this year at the trade deadline. The only thing that would reverse my thinking is if the Giants are suddenly like in a driver's seat position in the playoffs. That's it. If they are like, okay, hey, this is a playoff team come August 3rd at the trade deadline, which is probably another 50-plus games away. But I don't see it happening, guys. I don't see it happening. This is a flawed team. And your best two players on this team are Casey Schmitt, Luis Ariz. And then it falls off from there. So that's what I want to see. The other thing I want to see, I'm so sick of this organization, and this has nothing to do with the team on the field, but it sure looks embarrassing the last few games. I have to watch these ball dudes trip all over themselves constantly. And then we watched the Phillies ball girls, and they're on that ball, man. They're running, they get down and they scoop it up, and the game flows and they catch the ball. We got ball dudes and ball whatever chicks fumbling, falling. It's embarrassing. And I know it doesn't have anything to do with the game, but it's just like Major League Baseball is all about speed and everything, and we're all about nostalgia. We want to, and we have to pay these people. They have to bid for it. It's an open auction, and it's just like Larry Bear. Let's see how much money we can raise.
Yeah, the ball dudes I don't care about. I know they were having fun with them last night. Kruk and Kipe, where the guy got drilled in the chest by the ball. But they have their thing. They're doing it. I'm not concerned about the ball dudes. Trading Webb, I think you need to listen to offers for him if it comes to the trade deadline and the Giants are not in contention. You have to see what you can get. I do think also it is in their interest to move off of Chapman. They have a third baseman now. They're happy with the Chapman contract. Long-term is not going to benefit this team. He's going to start showing his age. It's not going to be the last 3 years of that contract are not going to be good. If they can find a way to move off of him, they should. It's going to be tough. Moving off of Adames, I don't know that you can, and you don't have an alternative at shortstop right now. So you probably save him till next year. But I do think moving off of these big guys before the young guys are ready, that way you have room for them, because otherwise you get stuck where there's a log jam and you have guys that are hitting in, like we just saw with Eldridge. He was hitting in AAA. There wasn't really a spot for him. Now they're having to move Casey Schmitt around the infield every day, have him play the outfield just to find a place for Eldridge, and having those big contracts. And that's why every day I hear, sign Luis Ariz long-term, sign him long-term. There's no way that you can do that, because then you will have 4 infielders locked up for multiple years. Ariz, he bet on himself. He took a 1-year deal where he could play second base so that he could prove that he's a second baseman. A second baseman that plays great defense, that can hit over 300. Now he's going to sign himself a 5-year deal. And that's going to take him from now until his 30, how old is he? 28?
Who's this?
Luis Ariz.
He's 29, I believe, is he? I think he's 29, Ariz.
He's 29. So yeah. He'll
I don't think you don't sign. I don't know if you guys caught today I did a little Show put it out at 4:00 with Jack from Giant Hot Takes. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. He's a very knowledgeable young guy. Really, 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 really knows his stuff. Anyway, here's my take on the Arise situation. If the Giants are able to move off of Chapman, then you may look to want to go ahead and try and sign Arise. But you don't, if you can't get rid of Chapman, you can't have this logjam next year, and you just have to let Arise go.
Right. But even if you have Adames and Arise, then your middle infield is locked up.
Well, at least Arise is young and he can hit. And he can hit. We know he's going to hit, and it looks like he can play defense. If I'm the Giants, he's probably going to get a 4-year. He's probably going to look for a 4-year deal in the neighborhood of $75 million.
He'll
somewhere
take
around
5 if he can get it, because he's at that age where you need to. People want to sign a 29-year-old to a 4 or 5 year deal, but if he takes a 2-year deal, then that puts him, at 31, 32. Then he's not going to be able to sign a long-term deal at that point. So this is his time to strike while the iron is hot. And unfortunately, that's not going to work out for the Giants because they need something short-term because they got guys that are going to be filling that position.
They should just look to sell off this year. Plan on it. If Buster's, he should be working, like setting up, finding out possible deals right now. If he's got a deal that's good and it's May 15th, strike. Who cares? Go ahead and do it. We've seen guys get traded. Arise got traded to the Padres like in April a couple years ago. Let's if you got the right deal in place, strike while the iron's hot, I say. Buster should be working phones. Like Senior says, he says Chap is an ass. By the way, can't wait for Casey to say, hit the effing ball, dude. Laughing out loud. Yeah. Justin says, pick an effing lane. We can't keep doing this year after year. This is 9 out of 10, guys. This team has to sell. Like I said, the mindset has to be like this. It has to be simply this. You cannot you have to have the attitude of we're going to sell unless things turn around. Whereas before the Giants were like at a trade deadline, we're going to buy unless things turn south. You have to have the opposite. They have to be looking like the mindset that we're getting prepared to sell. And if they surprise us and get hot, then we'll maybe buy. But they should be focusing on looking to sell. Dallas, I got to take a quick break. I will be right back. Sure.
So, the problem with the Giants is that they're never in sell mode. They're always in, you say pick a lane. Their lane is try to compete, but on the cheap. And Dan always wants to trade Logan Webb. But if the Giants are going to try to make the playoffs, and it's easy to make the playoffs, even though they can't do it, but, having Logan Webb as a pitcher on your team is a good thing because he's on a very team-friendly deal. You need pitching, and that's an easy one there. So you have to obviously listen to offers, see what you can get. But if you're going to try to make the playoffs, if you're going to try to compete, if you're going to put a competitive product on the field, then you need pitching. And what the Giants should have done is add. You have Webb, you add a Framber Valdez. You add a Ranger Suarez. You add another pitcher so that you have a strong pitching staff. And when the offense comes around, and it will, then you can actually compete. But now they've gambled on the starting pitching. They've gambled on the bullpen. And the part they didn't gamble on, which is their offense, they've got some veterans, a stacked infield of veteran players that are not producing. Well, now that they're crapped out, they've gambled on things that gambles aren't paying off. And then what they kind of thought was their sure bet, which was their offense, that's not paying off either. So the gambles aren't paying off. The sure bet isn't paying off. Nothing's paying off. And they're going to have to turn that around. Either the gamble on the bullpen is going to have to start paying off better, or the gamble on the starting pitching. But, they're going to give Hauser one more chance tomorrow. If he lays an egg, then he might find himself in the bullpen, and McDonald might be back up before too long. They probably won't do it on one more start. They'll give him a couple more. But, the Giants are in a situation right now where they're running out of, they can't really afford a whole lot more losses. They can obviously show up tomorrow, win the game, win the series, and they'll be feeling good again. And they got to keep winning series, keep chipping away at this deficit they have. But if they're on the precipice here, they could fall 10 games under, 12 games under, and then it's going to be really sell mode. Dan will be absolutely right about that. You're muted, Dan.
I'll be right back again.
Sure. So it remains to be seen. I'm still of the opinion that the offense will come around. These guys, the veterans with the long history and the back of the baseball card will be better. But I think it will end up being the question marks that we started with this season with the starting pitching. These guys that had good seasons last year, but they don't have a long track record, Malley and Hauser. And so that remains to be seen. And then this bullpen, they do have Henches coming back up. Foley will be the second half. I think Piguero's back in there as of today. So, they'll have some other options in the bullpen to try to piece things together, but it was a gamble going into it. So it remains to be seen if that's gonna even be a possibility. So yeah, it's shaky right now.
Yeah, it is. Dan, do I trust Posey to lead a rebuild? Do you want the Giants to hire somebody else? I would prefer somebody else, but at the same time, it looks like he did a pretty good job on the Duvall trade and the Tyler Rogers deal, getting some good prospects. So, which those weren't top players that you would think that would bring, major league ball players. When they made the trade, I was kind of like, wow, how did they pull that off? But we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of comments in here. I'm trying to get to them.
Yeah. And Farhan, he took a bad rap, but now we're starting to see the fruits of his labor in the minor leagues. A lot of those guys are Farhan guys. And, the Giants farm system went from a bottom third to maybe a top 10 in the next year, So
right. Farhan did bring in some of these guys that are coming up, and Eldridge, Casey he drafted, Eldridge he drafted. Who else did he draft? That was somebody else I was just mentioning the other day. I don't think he drew. Yeah, I think he did draft Roop.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did draft Roop. So yeah, there's been some successes there. Let's see. Senior agrees with you. The Giants farm system is loaded, and they will add to hit by trading for young talent. They will have to eat some contracts, but that's why they didn't sign any long-term contracts this offseason. I think he might be right. Tang. I'm seeing some Kaiwei Tang. I'm still not sold on Tang yet, but I haven't seen a whole lot of him this year. I understand he's doing better. But I do think this team is – I think there are signs that are starting to happen that nobody's safe. Patrick Bailey sat for the third consecutive night, and I love it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to move him. And I think that the talk will start to increase the more – Chapman's down to 239 again, guys. Okay? He's right where he's comfortable.
Once he gets down to 230, then he'll get a few hits. So we just got to wait it out.
Yeah. Once he gets to 230, maybe into the 220s, he'll build it up to 244, 247, and then he'll come back down. He says, I don't like up there. That doesn't feel right. I feel a lot more comfortable when I'm hitting in the 225 to 240 range. If I go over anything over 242, I get a little anxiety, he says. So,
and I also think I figured out Adamas's problem. He subconsciously, he doesn't want to have a good game because he knows they're going to dump that Gatorade on him. So he intentionally, like, his mind won't let him get a couple of hits because he knows it's going to be really cold, when they dump that on his head. So I think it's just his subconscious is preventing it. So maybe in August, when it's warmer, he'll want them to dump it on his head, and then he'll start hitting.
Yes. Looking here. Dan, Posey signed Chapman, Adames, and Devers. Hauser, Molly, Bader was bad move too. I don't think Buster, I think personally, I don't think Buster's doing a whole lot when it comes to player movement. I think it's Zach Manasian. He's probably the guy.
I think Buster is given a budget. He's like, here's how much you have to work with, and he's having to go bargain bin shopping and fill a roster with limited resources. And so he had whatever, 50, 60 million to work with, and he had to spend 10 here, 10 here, 9 here, 11 here, 10 here, and just kind of split it across. And he got a bargain bin right fielder, center fielder, a couple of bargain bin starting pitchers, and a couple of bullpen guys for $1 million, $2 million a piece. And that's what he had to work with.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the 40 games. You are who you are. I think it's probably closer to 100 games. I think when you get to 100 games, 80 to 100, it's pretty much, for the most part, if you're 80 to 100 games into the season, you could still have a good second half. You could still be a 100-game team and be 53 and 53, something like that. Look, I've brought it up here many times on the show. 1987, the Giants were 53 and 55. But then they went out and traded for Rick Russell. They went out and traded for Steve Bedrosian, the closer. They got a couple of other deals. That was the year they traded for Kevin Mitchell and Dave Dravecki, and Craig Lefferts was in the deal. It propelled the Giants to a 90-win team, and they won the division and were one game. They were up 3-2 against St. Louis, one game away from going to the World Series for the first time since 1962. But they would go ahead, they would make it 2 years later in 1989. So yes, with the right type of management, front office that's aggressive, that's not afraid of risk, but knows talent, it can be done. I don't know if Buster Posey and Zach Manasian are the group to do it. I just don't know. Neither one's had a lot of experience. They're not your Bob Quinns or your Al Rosens or your Brian Sabians or Ned Collettis. None of what they have now is just a lot of guys who are wet behind the ears. So,
I mean, they let Farhan sign Blake Snell. Farhan spent some money there towards the end trying to kind of save his job, and it didn't end up working out for him. But trading for Devers is taking on a lot of money, that's for sure. But I don't know that they've let Posey just spend willy-nilly. He's been on a pretty strict budget. I mean, and it didn't cost that much to add another starting pitcher this year. So, yeah, they're not really spending. They're just kind of trying to make do with minimal additions, and hope that the Vitello effect, was able to tip the tide. But the Vitello effect is having some growing pains. It's a little bit of a slow starter. He's still trying to get his feet wet, and so I don't know if that's going to be an immediate change.
Yeah. I don't. If you ask me to choose between Farhan and Posey, I'm taking Posey every day of the week. I don't care if Farhan didn't have the experience to run a club either. He was just a geek squad guy that worked at Best Buy. Was that Best Buy? Yeah, Best Buy, part of the geek squad, Farhan. I will never say that Farhan was better than Buster Posey. That guy was a disaster for this organization. But the whole organization's a mess. Look, the organization from the top down is screwed up. You got guys like Larry Bear running, marketing, and Greg Johnson, who could give two pieces of crap about winning baseball. He's all about the bottom line. He doesn't even get involved in the day-to-day operations. Posey's got to go to him and present it to him, and he's got to act like he cares about baseball. Dude, why don't you show your face down in the crowd like the Phillies owner or the Mets owner or some owners that get really into their teams? He doesn't care about the fans. Look, the Giants are a organization that just is, they're not serious. They're not that serious about winning.
Well, that comes from the top. That comes from the ownership.
That's what I'm saying. Comes from the ownership.
They don't want to spend the money. They are going to, whatever they can spend, put a decent enough product on the field to sell enough seats to make a profit. And they have some graph where it's like spend this much and the seats here, and they find that the line that is going to ensure them making enough money to cover everything while they just wait for the team to appreciate. Larry Bear, to me, he's just a mouthpiece for ownership. They tell him what to say, what to do. They tell him what the budget is, and his job is to sell it. He's got to make good, and put lipstick on the pig so that the fans keep showing up.
Yeah,
and that's what his job is.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he has the power to even screw things up. He's just following orders.
The whole Giants ownership group is a real estate organization, as Matthew and Gravy point out. They really are more interested. This is just an excuse to buy real estate. They own the stadium. They own Mission Rock. They're putting money into that. That's their baby. That's why you got so many people that are coming in as just investors. You got investors that don't even know they own a ball club. They're just like, oh, hey, I can make some money here. This is an investment. Here's give me 1% of the franchise. I'll buy this many shares. And they have no clue. And the problem is, then you got a board of directors that doesn't all agree. Look, I know exactly what's going on the inside from some things that I have heard from some high up people, that this organization, there's not a consensus like the LA Dodgers have of win at all cost. You have some owners that want to win, and some owners that say, no, we can't spend that money. That's not a good investment. We need to keep payroll down. We're not going to pay the luxury tax. We're going to stay under. What the Giants fail to do, and what is their stupidest problem is, oh yeah, they'll spend $200+ million on payroll. They're over $200 million, but it's a very poorly spent $200 million. look at who's getting the money. It's Chapman and Adames and Devers and Lee and Webb, 5 guys. And you could say that not one of them is a bona fide superstar. And you would say prior to this year that Webb was a star, an all-star, not a, superstar, but he's an all-star. And I guess you could say that Devers has been an all-star in his past, but Adames isn't no all-star. Chapman's no all-star. Lee's no all-star. What are you spending all this money on just mid-level talent?
Yeah. Well, I mean, each one of those had a reason. Chapman, he was the only guy they had, and they wanted to keep him. Adames was the best shortstop available. They signed him. Lee, they were trying to glom on. The Dodgers were killing it with the Japanese market, so they were like, let's corner the Korean market. And they were trying to get their foot in the door with him. And all of these things that they signed didn't work out. And it's not working out right now, Adames had half a good year last year. That doesn't cut it. You need the guys that are making that type of money to have a full season. Devers, who would, I don't know that anyone would have predicted he would be as bad as he is this year. And so that's a lot of these big money signings are not working out. And that's tough breaks. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I've never been a Matt Chapman fan. I tried to be positive this year and say he will get 80 RBIs. He still might. It's doubtful. The thing I have admired or appreciated about Matt Chapman in the past and even into this year is he plays the game the right way. He's generally a guy that hustles, that plays sound defense, solid base runner, but he's never been a good hitter, in my opinion. I don't like the 800-plus OPS for the guy. Yeah, he hits 25 to 27 homers, which raises his OPS, but he hits terrible with runners in scoring position. He strikes out in key moments. And by the way, the lineup tonight, Tony, don't put Adames and Chapman back-to-back, please. Have not we learned this a little bit? The lineup.
I've said it countless times. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, does Tony not listen to this show?
Well, he does. He does. He just probably didn't hear that part because the lineup I had set today, it was pretty close to tonight's. I said, Lee, this is what my lineup would have been when I did my show this afternoon. I recorded it at between 2 and 3 o'clock today with Jack. And you guys will want to go out and catch that, by the way. I said, let's go with Lee, Schmitt, Devers, Ramos. 5th, let's put Eldridge in the 5 spot. Forget trying to protect him and move him down to 7. 6, let's go with Chapman. 7, I wanted Gilbert. 8, I wanted Adames. And 9 was the catcher. I nailed it, except they flipped 7 and 8. They put Adames 7, and which was right behind Chapman, which is bad for a batting order because if there's a rally, which we saw tonight, they had a potential. And what did those guys come up and do?
Yep, you're right. Do you sit Chapman again? I mean, I thought it was going to be Adames, but Chapman is just a 0 right now.
What was Adames tonight? Over what
he had a hit.
You know what? 4. I would sit him. I'd want to piss him off a little bit. I'd want to piss off that dude, and either A, it lights a fire under him to get up and start playing well, or B, he says, I want out. I want out. I came here. I didn't come here to sit behind a 27-year-old who can't catch the effing ball.
I think you sit Adames tomorrow and put Chapman in the 8 hole.
I hope they sit Bailey tomorrow and Haas starts because Rodriguez is probably not going to start. How about this?
Probably not, although he did have a heck of a game. 2 for 3 with a dinger. And
hey, why not do this? Piss off the vets, Tony. Show them that you're the boss. Sit Chapman, start Casey at third, start Koss at short.
yes.
Go ahead and put a Rise back at second.
Yep.
Sit. Did Devers get a hit tonight again?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. I guess you got to keep trying to let him work himself out of it. Go ahead, and then I was going to say put Rodriguez in there, but Eldridge, put Eldridge at first base tomorrow, please. I don't care what Rafi Devers says. Let the kid get his into the game, the full game. Let him play some first base. Devers can DH. And then you can put in left field, I guess you just go with Ramos, or you could stick the Rodriguez kid out there. He had a home run tonight. Stick him out there. Ramos didn't do anything tonight, did he?
Nope, nothing.
All right. His average is starting to decline again too, right?
262.
He was up 274. He's okay. Go ahead and stick Gilbert back in there in center. Give Rodriguez a shot in left, and go with the Bruce Bochy rule. You hit a home run the day before, you're in the lineup the next day, and then just stick Lee out in right field. At least you have something decent on the bench if you need it. You'd have Ramos to go to. You'd have Chapman to go to.
And Adames. You'd have the best bench in the world.
And Adames, yeah. There you go. And but I don't know, Dallas. I think, this is a problem. I don't know if Jung-Hoo Lee, he's back down to 271. He was really hot, and he got up to 313. I know batting averages bounce around quite a bit. Schmitt was 308, or no, he was maybe a little higher coming into the night. I can't remember. 1 for 4, his average drops. Devers goes 1 for 4, and his average goes up. That's how bad Devers has been. Chapman 239 with a 636 OPS. Devers 571 OPS. My goodness. Casey's got a 914 OPS. But there's just so many problems on this team. So I think they just have to really look at doing this if they can't do it all at once, as far as tearing it down, maybe they do it by a little piece by piece. Maybe it's Chapman this year and Webb before the trade deadline. And then maybe in the off season, it's Adames. And, and you just kind of have to see how Devers does. If Devers gets it going, maybe you get something for him. I honestly think they're not going. I would be shocked, and I will be the first one to say I'm happy to be wrong. But I will be shocked at this point, based on what I'm seeing, that if the Giants are ready to compete for a playoff berth before 2028 minimum. And I think their year is, I think the Giants' sweet spot is 29 and going forward. I really do. I think 29, a lot of these guys are going to hit if everything goes well, which you don't know, but you have to have some kind of a plan. But they've got young guys that are coming up, and they're all across different levels. Most of them are at the lower levels, but there's a few in AA. And, go ahead. And I think you can. I know we know that Bailey has been awful, but he still holds value to some teams. And some teams that don't have a very good catcher would love to have a defensive catcher like Bailey and hope that he can maybe just turn it around offensively and change some of his approach. For whatever reason, the Giants cannot get Bailey on track offensively.
Yeah. He seems like one of those people that might go somewhere else and be able to get it going. But the Giants don't seem to be able to fix any hitter that can't hit.
No, they don't seem to be able to do that. No. But I think Matthew asked what happens if they end up in last place. Do they tear it down? They better. It would be one of the stupidest decisions, in my opinion, to run this thing back if they are a 85 to 90 plus loss team, to come back and say, we're going to double down and do it, triple down, and we're going to run it back with Matt Chapman for year 4. Look,
yeah,
Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Jung-Hoo Lee, Logan Webb. What have these guys ever won? Nothing. Devers was on a 2018 Boston Red Sox championship team where he was, he was the baby. I don't know. He was 2018. They say he was 21, something like that. Whatever it was. Maybe he was. I don't know, but he was good. He was good.
Yeah. Well, now I'll go into my CTE moment here.
Okay, I'll get it ready
91
for you.
losses or whatever, but this team is the same team as it was last year. This is a 500 team. Maybe a little worse than 500 if the pitching and the bullpen don't come around, but the hitting on this team will balance out. And it hasn't so far, but they're gonna, Adames and Devers are gonna get their numbers, and the Giants are gonna be right around 500 again. So I don't think it's as dire as everyone makes it out to when you lose on a Tuesday night.
So you think this team still could win got a good shot at the playoffs, Dallas?
I think they can make the playoffs.
Dallas is on the hot seat. He is suffering from CTE. Lay off of Dallas, go easy on him. He's suffering from CTE. Dallas has Larry Bear syndrome. He works for Greg Johnson. He's a full-time homer. He's on the Giants payroll. Dallas has CTE. Help him get free.
Now, I might change my tune if you tune in on the 16th of May. But I think on the 16th of May, they're going to be about 4 games out below 500, maybe 3 games, and it's going to be within striking distance of getting back to even. So 10 days. E. Miller, he's got the clock going. So yeah, stay tuned. I could come in and do a complete mea culpa. I was wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. That could happen. So you'll want to tune in.
Dallas has been cured of CTE. He's got a functioning brain. He hates Greg Johnson. We'll just flip the song for you. He thinks Larry Bear is a big fat coward. I don't know what we'll come up with on that one. Hey, I was out tonight and I got a new buddy as I lead a Tuesday night. I lead kind of like a Bible study. And one of the guys was the former clubhouse manager for the Anaheim Angels for 38 years. He just retired a year or two ago. So I got all kinds of stories on visiting teams, Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. And you know what the cool thing is? He just moved here from Southern California over to, pretty much within about 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes of my place. But because he's got over 25 years with one team, he gets a gold card. So I can go to any baseball game with him for free. So I'm going to hit some Diamondbacks games, and maybe I'll hey, let's go on a flight here to San Diego or San Francisco, and any stadium in he gets in any stadium he wants, Major League Baseball stadium. Pretty cool benefits. But yeah, he was the clubhouse manager. So, and then he managed the visiting teams at home. So he got to meet all the different, players in baseball. So pretty cool. So I thought that was kind of fun. Tomorrow, Dallas, not a good matchup, but Padres don't have a good pitcher going. Marquez is horrible.
Right. Correct.
Giants have beaten up on him a lot.
It's Mark Waldron.
Oh, they changed it. That's right. Waldron, he's the knuckleballer, right?
He's got a 9.88 earned run average.
Oh, well,
so I'm sure we can. Adrian Hauser looked like Cy Young.
I'm sure we could probably bring out the corked Viagra song for the Giants on that one, right?
Yeah, but the Giants right now are 5-3 against the NL West. If they win tomorrow, they win this series, and they'll be 6-3 versus the NL West. So tomorrow's an important game to keep momentum on their side. They got their ass kicked tonight because the pitching was crap, and sometimes that happens.
Are we going to
score 5 runs, which is a good sign?
Are we going to hear Tony Victory tomorrow, Dallas, or are we likely more to hear against a pitcher with a 9 ERA, something like this?
These Giants bats are anything but giant. They're more like limp dicks. They need to cork those bats with some Viagra. They faced the pitcher today with an ERA over 11 and could not score a run. What a joke this offense has become.
There we go. The Giants corked bats, more like limp, you know what, and if they can't score, this is what they do, Dallas. Just why can't we get any consistency going? We get a 4-1 lead, not with Adrian Hauser, not with, you name it, anybody else in the staff, but it's Logan Webb. And you're thinking, man, the Padres come up with a 5 number in the top of the 4th. And, he just gets hit hard in these innings. It happens almost, with the exception of some of those games where he just shuts you down, it happens in one inning almost every game where he gives up 3-4 runs.
Yeah, it's happened this year. I mean, that's why he's got a 5 ERA, and he's 2-4. You expect Logan Webb to be 4-2, and if
with an ERA of around 3.
Right. Yeah. So that's been it's been no bueno, man. That's the reason we're in this situation. Part of it. I mean, you can pin it on several different people, but it's really the guys that make the money. It's Devers, it's Adames, it's Chapman, it's Webb.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can do something here.
Mason Miller didn't have to come in. The Padres bullpen is legit. I mean, they got some arms, man. They got a bunch of closers that can, line them up. So you need to keep your lead. If you get a lead, keep the lead. Because if once they get a lead, they're not going to give it up too easy. So bad recipe, Giants.
You know what I want to do, Dallas? I want to play a little clip today from today's interview with Jack over on Giant Hot Takes. Let me pull it up for you guys.
Go for it.
And they're just going to keep spinning wheels.
I really wonder, like, I'd pay a good amount of money just to be in like a group chat with those guys just to see what they're talking about on a daily basis. I wanted to go back to your 3 big contract thing because I think that's where this whole thing starts. You have 5.5 years left of Willy Adames. It's actually a backloaded deal in terms of cash. If you haven't looked at that, these are supposed to be the good years, and he's the worst shortstop in the league. I do not think that you're getting out of that deal. You can try to get him in the waive that no trade clause. I don't even know how much money. I'm not a big like contract nerd guy. I don't know how many teams in the league you're convincing to take over 50% of that deal from. I mean, I'd eat half of that thing if you could. I'd pay him $15 million to not play on this team just to clear that. Because again, you get Casey Schmitt playing. He's still a pre-arb guy right now, I think, or you get a Keelan or a Gonzalez, then that's your $15 million for one of those guys. And you're still clearing that money a little bit. Matt Chapman, I think you have a chance to move to a contender like the Yankees or somebody like that. I mean, we've both been hard on Matt Chapman. There's still value in that glove. He's a good 6 or 7 hitter for a good team. I think Giants fans have a little bit too high of an expectation on him, probably brought on by that contract. So I think you could probably find a way to get out of that Chapman deal as early as this year. In terms of Devers, you're screwed there, but I do think that guy at least has a longer track record of success in the big league. So for that, I'm going to give Devers at least through this year. If not, you're screwed anyway, so we might as well hope for the best. In terms of the whole youth movement, I think if we saw it last year, Drew Gilbert comes up. Drew is not a level of prospect of like Bryce Eldridge or Dakota Jordan or guys like that. And Drew's making an instant impact here, kind of got that team back in the mix in September. If Bryce Eldridge comes up, as you said, with the Matt Williams thing, 21.
All right. There's a little bit of taste of some stuff today. Go check out that interview. Yeah, I see him some stuff. Devers is done. Nobody wants Devers. We're stuck with him. Let's just hope he gets hot enough that he looks decent enough that somebody will want him, even if they have to pay half the contract. They're better off getting out of that deal. You think the Giants, the Giants need to learn when to cut bait, because if they think, oh, well, let's hang on to Devers, do you realize that 3-4 years from now, how bad it's going to be? And you still got 7 years to go after this season. Again, if you got somebody that's willing to take Devers, even if they don't want to give you any prospect, but they're just going to take him, it's better than waiving him and having somebody else, pick him up and you have to pay the entire contract. Because I guarantee you, if you waive him, someone will pick him up, knowing they just have to pay him the league minimum like the Giants did with Pablo. So this is what they have to figure out. And the Giants just need to look at having youth and being a team that has a plan. So I think they've got some ball players that really want to play, and they've got the right attitudes. And we'll see where this thing goes. But, hey, we all knew Gerard was going to get DFA'd. We all knew it. And I would have bet the house on it that Encarnacion was not going to make it through the season. So why do they take a guy that's a journeyman and at least give Matos a chance? And if you have to release Matos, you release Matos, but you just give up on him. They never gave Matos a full opportunity. He had the talent to hit. He made contact. He wasn't a strikeout guy. Did he make a lot of consistent, loud contact? No, he didn't. But he was also constantly being shuffled in and out of the lineup where he wouldn't. And Matos is a guy that just needs regular bats on a daily basis. And they didn't do that. So to me, it's just not good. It's just not good. Matthew says, Dan, this Devers contract is going to be a disaster. Even if he improves and plays better for the next 3 years in a row, that contract is still probably going to be a disaster. It is. And, it's right now it's holding their number one prospect back from playing first base. Hey, by the way, I wanted to put some stuff up on Twitter. Let's pull up some Twitter stuff and see what we got. We might have some Tony V stuff to play. Hey, look at this. Mission complete. I love it. They got a ball. Okay, mission complete. Fans are the absolute best. Thank you to everyone. This kid was trying to set him up tonight to get a baseball. He was a 12-year-old kid, had a sign, 12 years old today, and it was his first time coming to the game, and he got a ball. Matt Chapman was able to get him a ball. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's see.
I'm going to sign off, Dan. Got to get kids to bed here, so
no worries. No worries, Dallas. We'll see you
tomorrow.
We'll get them tomorrow. I'm going to sign off here shortly myself. Are you available in the afternoon or maybe tomorrow night? We'll have to see. I think I might have
available in the afternoon.
Let me see it. Let me see what my schedule is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I know I have something in the afternoon. I just can't remember what time it is. So I'll have to look.
I can't, then Chardal can join you. So
very good. Very good. All right, Dallas. Covered. Have a good night, and let's everybody give Dallas a nice goodbye.
Dallas is on the hot seat.
Man, that was just disgraceful.
Lay off of Dallas, go easy on him. He's suffering from CTE.
Shohei Ohtani.
Bear syndrome. He works for Greg Johnson. He's a full-time homer. He's on the Giants payroll. Dallas has CTE. Help him get free.
All right, there we go. Dallas has CTE. Just a little fun song we like to play. But was looking for some. Oh, we do have a little Logan Webb. Here we go. A little Logan Webb clip. What do we got? Do we have any volume? Hold on. 1 second, guys. I don't know where the volume is on this. There we go.
You like to stay out there and try to soak up a couple more innings. You have to be talked out of coming out after 62 pitches.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have been in the game to begin with. It wasn't very good today. So, thank you.
You shouldn't have been in there because you.
Because that was dog shit. Okay. Sometimes when you have a bad one, you like to stay out there and try to soak up a couple more innings. You have to be talked out of coming out after 62 pitches.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have been in the game to begin with. It wasn't very good today. So,
all right, there's Logan Webb. He's pretty pissed off, and rightfully so. I'm looking for. Oh, what do we got? I wonder. What do we got here? Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's pretty funny. These memes. All right, let's see if we've got. I wanted to find. I'm just going through Twitter here, trying to see if I don't see anything. All right, well we'll close out of Twitter there, and was trying to figure out if we had some other clips. Let's see what else we got. We might have something. You know what? We might have something here. Let's see if I can pull it up and find anything. What we might have here. Do we have any? All right, let's see. He was at the ball game tonight. Let's listen to a little bit of Jack, what he's got to say about the playing the kids.
Oh man. Giant Hot Takes post-game show. I mean, you're going to get a bit of different vibe from me today. Casey Schmitt had that home run in the first inning, moonshot to left field. Guy's just a blast to watch play baseball. They put up 2 more runs in the second. Logan Webb blows it all away. Not going to freak out too bad. I mean, this is just a very bad baseball team, and it's led by your veterans. Logan Webb having the worst year of his career. Rafael Devers, it's pretty much the same thing every day. Adames doesn't need to play tomorrow. I mean, he's really tough. And Matt Chapman, I mean, what does he really do? There's no slug. There's no anything. Wanted to kind of end it on a positive note here. Jesus Rodriguez, the kids are so fun to watch. Jesus, opposite field tank, RBI in the first inning, caught pretty well. I mean, Bryce Eldridge has an opposed single. Drew Gilbert has an opposed single. There's a lot to work with these kids. They show up with a burning desire to win. I don't think there's a burning desire to win with a lot of guys here. Just kind of want to touch on that. They're very fun to watch. Chuck, you got anything today?
I mean, I really like how our offense performed today. 8 hits. I mean, that's most hits I think we've got in a long time. I love that. Unfortunately, Logan Webb is just not Logan Webb this year. It's kind of not fun to watch. I wish we could see Logan Webb from last year, but it is what it is. I got one thing on Rafael Devers. I never see him warm up, and it really makes me angry because I don't know what he does. I see him just spawn at first base. I don't know, does he do warm-ups in the dugout? Because is this what translates to the field? I don't know, but there's stuff to work on, positives, but overall, I mean, 10-5 loss. You can't be too mad, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, the hopes got up in the first inning, then I realized we're 8 below. But just to wrap it up, met a lot of cool followers out here today. You guys are the best. Appreciate all the support. Don't know when I'll be back, but let's go try to win a series tomorrow, I guess.
All right, there you have Jack from Giant Hot Takes live from tonight's game. As he said, it's a bad team, and it's just not a good team right now. Can it become a better team? I think it can. I think there's some issues. I really do. I think there's some issues going on inside that clubhouse right now, and I think I think there might be some tension between the vets and the younger guys in the situation, not coming from the younger guys, but I think the vets are not carrying this team, and the younger guys are the ones that are performing, and your highest paid players are the ones that are weighing the team down. And it's very obvious. And I just think it looks like, to me, like it is a toxic. I don't think it's Tony baseball. I think there are guys that probably don't appreciate the fact that Tony is here and Drew Gilbert's here, and they got this fireball brand of attitude. And, I don't know. I'm not in that clubhouse. It's just pure speculation, as it would probably be on all of our parts. But I think there's possibly some kind of rift in there with Chapman. I think Chapman is realizing that Casey's a better player than him, and he can't do anything about it because he's older and Casey's younger and quicker and got a better, quicker bat and all of those things. And, I think Chapman obviously signed a 6-year deal and wanted to be here. And I think he's maybe starting to sense or feel maybe the handwriting's on the wall that he may not make it here through the 6 years. I don't know. Again, but that's not, that's on Buster. Buster's the one that gave him a 6-year deal, which was laughable at the time. And then the no trade clause. And again, guys, the no trade is totally, the player just wants it because not that he's going to say, I'm not getting traded. He's just saying, I'm not taking a trade to the White Sox. I'm not going to be sent off to purgatory. I'm not going, to the Rockies. I'm going to the White Sox or, a team that's clearly in decline. He'll pick the organizations that he'll agree to a trade if they're going to try and trade him. So they will try to trade him. I don't know if he would want to go east. He may not want to go to an East Coast team that plays in the Grapefruit League in spring training, because that's another month plus away, and you do a lot of your off-season training. You remember their facility, I think Chapman may live here down in the Scottsdale area, and the training all year round, your stadium's right there. You don't want to live in Arizona and then play for a team that plays in the Grapefruit League and have to go to Florida at the end of February when you can stay, or mid-February really now. So I think that's something that Chapman may say, I'm not going to go to one of those East Coast teams. Maybe it's, if it's somebody like, maybe he'll want to go to the A's, back to the A's. Maybe the A's would want him if the Giants were paying a good portion of the contract when they go to Vegas, play in Sacramento. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure he'd love to play for the Dodgers since he's from Southern California. He grew up down in, I believe it was Mission Viejo area or El Toro. I think he went to El Toro High. That's Orange County is Chapman's from. So maybe he would love to go there. We'll see. See what the Giants end up doing with him. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but hopefully it will happen. And I think this is a good fit. Webb to the A's. The Giants could, hey, how about a Leo DeVries coming to the Giants for Logan Webb? And if you got to throw in maybe a prospect, heck, if they say we're not doing it unless you give us Parks Harbor in the deal. Okay, deal. Parks Harbor, Logan Webb for Leo DeVries. I'm making that trade, okay? Why? Because Leo DeVries is going to be a stud, and the A's need starting pitching. And Logan Webb's from Sacramento. That's right. A's are going to Vegas. He's a Raider fan, grew up a Raider fan, and why not? Let's get Logan Webb over to the Sac A's. And, you want a Parks Harbor in there? Fine. I'm not giving up I'm not giving a Jossar or a Hernandez or even a Johnny Level. Webb should be enough to get it done, but there are other prospects within the organization that the Giants could do. I'll give you a few names that could make sense in a trade for DeVries, Logan Webb, and how about another young pitcher like a Joe Whitman, okay? Or I'd even go Carson Wisenhunt if that's what they wanted. Webb and Wisenhunt. Go ahead and do that deal. Give me Leo DeVries. He's one of the top prospects in all of baseball. And that's what the Giants should be looking to do. Get creative and get on those phones start working phones, see what you can do, and work out a deal. But guys, appreciate you being here tonight. How many do we have in the chat right now? Let me take a quick peek, see what we've got watching. Hold on here. I gotta do it with my phone because that way, let me get there. NorCal, I open it. Okay, we got about 135 watching right now. Why don't you guys go ahead and hit that like? We got 52 in there. So there's a good 85 of you that haven't hit the like. So if you would, hit the like button. We're at 57 right now. So a couple of you added to it. I think you can, 58 Matthew says right now. I think we can hit that thing to make it shoot up to 100 just like that. That would be great. And then, of course, you can always comments that we didn't get to in the chat. You can leave comments on the YouTube channel itself. I try to read those and respond to as many as possible. But that would be great. Macho Grande says, Dan, you don't think this bad play is a blessing? We knew this was going to happen. It's better now to see all the flaws. I think it's a complete blessing. As I've said many times, guys, Giants fans should be looking for a massive, if you're not going to win 88 to 90 games and be a playoff team, if you're going to be in that neighborhood of 80 wins, give or take a few wins either side of 500, you know what I'm talking about, the 78 to 84, 82 range, 78 to 82. If you're going to be in that range, much rather see what's happening now, would much rather see the Giants become a 90 to even 100 loss team, because that wakes up the franchise to realize that they're a laughing stock and they need to do something drastically. It's the only thing that's going to wake up this organization is if they get hit by a 2x6 right across the forehead, and it wakes them up to say, you know what? We are an organization that is a mess. We've got to make a decision to pick a lane, right? We're going to choose a direction, and the direction we're going in, because we just played so badly with all these vets, we're just going to blow it up and go young. And I don't think the fans would care about it. And think about this, guys. You might not have baseball next year for a while. They'll probably settle. But what a perfect time to get rid of these things. But you know what? This is why you got to move forward in July and make these deals, whether it's in June or July if the team's floundering. Don't wait till the off season, because if there's a lockout after December 1st, which there will be, that will shut all business down and there will be no trades. And then you'll go into the off season stuck with Chapman and Adames and Devers and Webb. Move them all, or as many as possible now. Like I said, if you got a deal tomorrow that says we will take Chapman and we want part of the contract, but we'll give you such and such prospect that's good, or we're going to take the whole contract on, but we're not giving you anything, take it and go. Take it and go. Be thankful you got rid of that and move on. Too many people have been so high on Chapman since he got here, and I guarantee you it's talking points. It's been talking points from smart baseball people like the Kuiper, Dwayne, and Fleming, and of course Homer Pence. And I love Hunter Pence, but he's a homer on the broadcast. It's too hard to take. So all these people have been praising Chapman for so long. And the Susan Slussers, E. Miller base. It's just like, and I have never seen it. I don't know why. Yes, I see it in the field. Okay. I'm not blind. I see that he's an unbelievable third baseman. I think I've made that extremely clear, that he's an all-time great third baseman. But I don't see anything of excellence at the plate. So just move off of the guy and move off the rest of the guys. We're sounding like a broken, beating a dead horse, but move off these guys and get them out of here, get them out of the building, and get a breath of fresh air with these young guys. And I'm telling you, Tony's the right guy to lead the young team. And I think he's frustrated right now with these vets. I really do. I think these vets are not buying into what's happening. And let's hope some of these vets work themselves off of this team. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. We are at 68 likes. Thank you to those whatever number we were on. I can't even remember what we were on, 57, 58, whatever. Hey, if another 40 of you would hit the like button on the way out, would appreciate it. I'm going to play the music to get us out of here. Give me a sec to find it. There we go.
From the Bay.
No.
This is Giants Base.
All right, thanks, guys. Yes, I do think he's safe if they lose 100 games. He's not the problem. It's, they gave him a lot of crap to work with. I don't think that's it. Hey, Shardal, thanks for being a member for 19 months. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Shardal. Looking for your comments to post as we get out of here. Let's see. Accumulate a lot of young talent. Yes, flood the system. They all won't hit, but you need only a few to hit. Exactly. Let's see what else we got in the final comments of the show tonight. Come on, what's happening to the... There we go. Kyle McKiernan says, Schmitt is the third baseman. Sign him to a 5-year deal. He'll be 32, 33 after. Chapman was directly tied to his local area in Melbourne. His contract sucks. Exactly, Kyle. Exactly. Yeah, I don't get some of this stuff. They were given talking points, NorCal, no doubt, and they came from the desk of Larry Baer. I can almost guarantee it that Larry Baer was the guy pushing all this crap about Chapman, and everybody had to, sell it like, Tony V was brought in for the rebuild. I believe that to be true as well. You don't sign a guy to $10 million and pay his buyout of $3 million plus pay Melvin another $3 million. They committed basically over $13 million to get Tony here. So Dallas is having his concussion issues. Dang it. Man, you guys got any medicine for Dallas? We need some, because poor Dallas right now is suffering. We'll see you after this song, everybody. I'll let you enjoy it.
Let's go easy on him. He's suffering from CTE. Dallas has Larry Baer syndrome. He works for Greg Johnson. He's a full-time homer. He's on the Giants payroll. Dallas has CTE. Help him get free. Dallas is on the hot seat.
Sour shoes.
He is suffering from CTE. Lay off of Dallas, go easy on him.
Sour Shoes says, hey, Dan, thanks for ignoring all my comments. Well, Sour is getting kind of sour about that one. Sorry, Sour. Try to get to as many as possible. But one guaranteed way of making sure your comments are read is just put up a little super chat. Doesn't have to be much, but I definitely get to all of those. We did have a couple of those tonight, and we appreciate that. Mike Val did ask a question here. Hi, is it possible Tony V, little talk, I think we played that earlier. I'm not sure. Mike, I hope you are you in Sour? Hopefully Mike is in Sour or not related. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow, and enjoy your Wednesday. And thanks for noticing. I hopefully I got all of you guys. Sour, all good, cool. Yeah, Dan, thanks for noticing. I try to get to as many as possible, but not easy. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here, get some sleep. It's almost 11 o'clock. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. And hopefully Giants play a little bit better and start turning this thing around and win the rest of the games on this homestand and put together a string of 4 in a row to have a 5-1 homestand. That will make everybody feel a whole lot better going on to the next road trip. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.